Hey everybody, Dr. Greco here. Welcome to Ministry in a Minute. So yesterday we started talking about our call. And today I want to ask you a simple question. Are you willing? You see, most of the time when people say, I don't have a call or I don't know what my call is, what they're really saying is, I want God to do stuff for me, but I don't really want to do stuff for Him. And I hate to be that blunt and that upfront and that honest, but that's the way it really works. And so I think once we realize that God wants us, has a role for all of us, we have to look in the mirror and say, am I willing? You know, Isaiah chapter 6, I think is, the beginning of Isaiah chapter 6 is Isaiah's call to ministry. Of course, Isaiah was a very important Old Testament prophet. Lots of prophecies about the coming of Christ and just a big figure in the scriptures. And Isaiah's call begins with Isaiah having this realization of how amazing God is. He has a vision of angels, and he realizes two things. The first thing he realizes is that God is bigger than anything he could imagine. It says in Isaiah chapter 6 in the first couple of verses, I saw the train of the Lord's robe, and it filled the temple. And when a king would conquer another king, they would sew their robe onto the back of their robe. And so a really powerful king would have this robe that changed colors because he'd conquered so many kings. Isaiah says that the train on his robe fills the temple. That's how powerful he is. And then he says, a cherubim came to me with coals and touched my lips. And he realized that he was sinful. And once we realize that we can't do it ourselves, and once we realize how incredible God is, our next reaction should be exactly what Isaiah's was. Because God said, all right, now you know who I am, and you know who you are, and there's something I need done. Who shall I send? And Isaiah says in verse 8, and I quote, here am I, send me. Okay, that should be our response when we realize that God is God, we are broken without Him, and He has a plan. Our reaction should be, I'm in. So the question I began with and the question I'm going to end with is, are you willing? Knowing who God is, knowing that all of us are called to something in the kingdom, are you willing to go where God is calling you? We'll see you tomorrow for another Ministry in a Minute.